This is Western Avenue, Past, Present, and Future by Zhu Zhu and Brandon Bartosik. Muskegon grew along with the lumber industry and later manufacturing. This is a view down Western Avenue at the beginning of the 20th century. 3 of the buildings on the left still exist today. One of the remaining buildings is the Century Club, which today houses Hegg's Gallery, an upscale furniture store. Another building is the Muskegon Savings Bank building. It opened at the corner of 2nd and Western in 1908, and today is being restored for possible reuse as a restaurant. This 8-block area along Western Avenue was the site of the Muskegon Mall. Before the mall was built, this was the primary shopping district in Muskegon. This picture from 1927 shows the intersection of 1st and Western. This was one of the busiest intersections in Muskegon and was later covered by the mall. This picture shows the Muskegon Flatiron Building as it looked around 1930. The Flatiron Building was a major landmark in Muskegon from the time it was built in 1912 until it was demolished to make way for the Muskegon Mall. In the 1940s and 50s, Western Avenue was the heart of Muskegon. It was a place for parades, community celebrations, as well as shopping. In 1947, Sears opened up on Western. This is Western Avenue circa 1960. Most of these buildings were destroyed the following decade to make way for the mall. By the 1960s, businesses started leaving downtown for suburban locations in Norton Shores. In 1963, downtown businessmen issued a call for redevelopment of downtown. By 1976, this led to the Muskegon Mall. The Occidental Hotel was raised in 1975 to provide parking for the Muskegon Mall. The historic hotel had stood at the corner of 3rd and Clay since the late 19th century. In 1974, downtown Muskegon was drastically torn up. Western Avenue between 3rd and Terrace Street ceased to exist. The red lines here on the image shows where Western Avenue used to run. Groundbreaking ceremonies for the Muskegon Mall took place in November 1974, and the grand opening was held March 27, 1976. The picture on the left is the opening of the Muskegon Mall in 1976. This is an aerial view of the Muskegon Mall around the time it opened in 1976. In 2001, the Lakes Mall opened in suburban Fruitport Township. Sears left the Muskegon Mall for a store in the new mall. Many of the smaller stores follow. Stecky's, the other mall anchor, closes. The smaller stores that stayed in the Muskegon Mall slowly closed one by one until the final 2 stores closed on December 31, 2001. The image to the right shows the Harvey Street corridor with the Lakes Mall on the right and other big box stores on the left. On the far left is US 31. This is an aerial image showing the mall site after the Muskegon Mall was demolished but before redevelopment had begun. The closing of the mall left downtown Muskegon almost completely devoid of stores. After the Muskegon Mall finally closed, the large parking lots around the mall were chained off by the mall owner. The 8-block area containing the closed mall that once was the retail center Muskegon now is closed to both people and cars. The Downtown Muskegon Development Corporation, or DMDC, was formed in 2002 to purchase the mall property and redevelop it. The DMDC is made up of the Community Foundation for Muskegon County, the Muskegon Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Paul C. Johnson Foundation in cooperation with the City of Muskegon. The DMDC purchased the mall in August 2002 and removed the chains around the parking lots. The parking lots were again available for community use. To the right is a picture of DMDC members and Muskegon's mayor cutting a chain off one of the mall's closed parking lots. This is an aerial view of the mall site 3 years into the redevelopment process. In May 2003, a community design charrette called Imagine Muskegon took place where members of the community came together to share ideas of what they would like to see downtown Muskegon become. To the right is a conceptual drawing of the mall site that was created at Imagine Muskegon. The illustration shows a rebuilt street grid, a traffic circle, a public area along 3rd Street, and infill buildings. All of these elements have been built in some form in the years since. The DMDC had planned to find a company to redevelop the mall site. Out of more than 30 candidates, they chose Charter Development of Southfield, Michigan. Charter's idea was to rebuild the 8-block site as an urban village that would be primarily residential. However, they wanted a completely empty site for their development and did not want the 5 historic buildings to be preserved. In 2004, they finally dropped their plans to redevelop the site. The DMDC then decided they would take on the redevelopment. In 2006, Western Avenue between 3rd and Terrace Streets was rebuilt. The new section of Western Avenue had a boulevard design with angled street parking. A traffic circle was also built at the intersection of Western and 3rd. Since the DMDC decided to redevelop the mall site without outside help, all of the historic buildings have been purchased and redeveloped or in the process of being redeveloped. Several new buildings have also been built. Since redevelopment started in 2006, $24.5 million have been invested in the site, with $33.3 million worth of development in progress or planned. And now for a quick look at the mall site projects. Baker College's Culinary Institute of Michigan opened in September 2009. Muskegon Together Rising by Richard Hunt is a sculpture in the new traffic circle at 3rd and Western. It was dedicated in June 2008. The new Heinz building opened in July 2008. The 3rd Street Promenade, a public area along 3rd Street, was completed in stages, with the last part finished in the fall of 2009. The Montgomery Block, one of 5 historic buildings to survive the mall, was completely renovated, with the Muskegon Athletic Club sports bar opening in October 2008. The Sidak building opened in August 2008. Russell Block, which is made up of the Russell Building, the Century Club, and the Muskegon Savings Bank, survived the demolition of the Muskegon Mall. The Century Club has been completely restored and now contains Hegg's Gallery, an upscale furniture store. The Muskegon Savings Bank building has been restored and is awaiting a tenant. The Russell Building will soon be transformed into an urban market. The Heritage Square townhomes began construction in 2008. Eventually 22 units will be built. Some of the units will have a live-work design that contains commercial space on the ground floor with living space above. The former Comerica Bank building will become High Point Flats. The 91-year-old building will soon be made into 70 condo units. A new addition along Western Avenue will also be built. Renovations of the 8-story building have already started. A rendering for a future building that may be built at 2nd and Western. This image is a conceptual drawing taken from the 2008 update to the Muskegon Master Plan. It shows the future mall site built out with new buildings and an urban design. Very few surface parking lots exist in this vision, and none along Western Avenue.